Good day. In today's session, I will be synthesizing the previous topic that you've learned from various videos and various activities that was given to you. Um, so at the end of the session, you will have a short assessment about what you have learned, the important lesson that the application of the important lesson in a certain case, in a hypothetical case that will be given to you after this lecture. That will serve as your activity for this week. And please let me know if you have some concerns in relation to the activity. Okay, the during our introduction, we started with learning about components of information systems. And to review, we have to tackle some important components of information system. You must also be aware of the definition of the information system in relation to your course. But this one, we will enumerate the components of IS. These are interconnected concepts to form into a system, which we include first the hardware, the physical object that we can see that supports the information system. The second part, as shown in this slide, it might include a server farm or the data farm or various servers and routers. We also have printers, laptops, and other physical devices in which our software resides. So the second component is the software component, which it gives life to the hardware. Hardware is nothing without the software within it. And before it was commonly called the soul of the computer system, because without the computer, we cannot interact well with the hardware component. So it was enabled by the software. The third component is telecommunication, which some resources or some books include this one as part of the hardware components of the information system. But in this slide, in our reference, we separate telecommunications to include communication devices used to connect various hardware devices or computers, hardware components of the computers. So this includes telecommunications, wires, wireless, or devices that allows different computer components to connect together. So these are we call is telecommunications. So the common, depending on the purpose, but many of our household or schools is now connected to Wi-Fi. So the telecommunication components at that part is routers or switches. It also includes some components in your cell phone, for example, and that enables that communication of your device to another device. Then another is the people, which is for me the one of the most important component of IS, because we can exploit or we can harness the capabilities of computer system if a certain user is also supportive or appropriately use the purpose of which the information system is being built. And sometimes the innovative way of using that system is enabled also by people. And the last one is procedure. Some of the references didn't include this or will not include this as part of the components of IS. But in our course, it is important to consider this as one component because procedure is part of the process of the organization wherein people and computer software will meet each other to be able to define the steps on how to do it. And of course, many organization depends on each process. That's why we include this as one. And one important component as of now of IS is the data. But in our treatment as of now, data is considered to be the lifeblood of the components of IS. So some references or some books or some authors consider data as one of the components of IS because without data, software will not work very well and procedures will not matter. But in reality, software components of information system is also presented, stored as a form of data. So we can account some data as part of the software. But in general, it can be separately treated because it flows around information system. From a software, or it is stored in a certain storage devices, it will be manipulated by a software, which data also resides in a certain form in hardware and can be retrieved only by software. So um, sometimes it is helpful for the organization to consider data as one of the assets or components of IS, but depending on your perspective, it's up to you to account for data if you will consider it as one of the components. Some authors considered it because of its importance, and with in the absence of data in reality will not harness the potential of the power of information systems. Um, anyway, it's up for you. But in this course, we considered it as a life, a blood of the information system. So that means it flows around many of these components. No, but at least you're also aware that some authors is considered these as components of information system. But in our reference, these are the components of IS. I'll repeat, there are confusions on data. On the other hand, the hardware component, because some of the authors consider telecommunication or the network components of IS as part of hardware. So depending on your perspective, there's no final answer because technology is rapidly changing every now and then, and it doesn't mean that you're wrong if you're classified it, because based on the purpose of the various components of IS in achieving organizational goals, it can still be considered an IS. So given the idea of the components of IS, we will now move on to the types of information system. There are a lot of ways to classify or to determine the types of information system, but this one is very helpful for us to summarize it. So from the information system perspective, it can support both operation and management or managerial part of the organization. And under the operation support systems, we have transaction processing, process control, enterprise systems, and it can be also part of a specialized systems. So take note that there are examples on how we can consider a certain system as transaction processing or process control or enterprise collaboration system. On the other hand, there are also specialized systems that support management operation or management support or decision making. So we have the MIS, which this course is actually all about, the decision support system, executive information systems, and other specialized systems which can be classified both supporting operation and supporting management. So these are expert system, knowledge management, strategic information system, and functional business systems can be considered supporting both operation and the management level of the organization. On the other hand, there is also a perspective that information systems support three levels of management: the strategic, the tactical, and the operation part. So this is also a different perspective, but still, the idea is that information systems support various levels of the organization or various areas of the organization. The modern view is what the slides is being presented, meaning the support of IS can be classified as supporting operations or supporting the management. On the other resources, you can also see that in the levels of management, there are various information system types that support, for example, at the lower level, they called it operation support or transaction processing system. At the tactical level, they can also be tactical information system, and the last one is strategic information system. So, but we will agree with this one because this is the most recent perspective on how we can classify the support of information system in the organization. So before we will implement, this one is all about how an organization adapt or adopt information systems. So in this perspective, we classify IS at three levels. We have personal, group, and enterprise IS. This slide shows us the benefits of adopting information system and the requirements of the organization to maximize the capabilities of information system. So here, for example, we can see that if you want to improve productivity, it might be that that's the focus of personal IS, and there's not much about organizational complements. While on the opposite side, you have the enterprise information system. It asks for full complements. So the complements are well-trained workers, better teamwork, redesigned process, and new decision rights. And it was also emphasized the role of manager. So here, we are reminded that depending on a certain level of use of IS, there are complements needed to be able to harness the full potential of information system used within the organization. So for the entire enterprise use, those organizational complements is considered important. While, for example, in Group IS, for increased collaboration, there are at least some minimal complements needed to be able to maybe harness part of the capabilities of information system. So this one is a supply chain of modern and transformed government. So I just want to show here that if you want the bottom line of all efforts to improve the governance or the public organization, trust and confidence is important. And where the trust and confidence of the people starts with the citizens or comes from or dependent to citizens service satisfaction, and the citizen service satisfaction may comes from internal services and external services, depending on how these internal and external services engage and support employees or external clients or internal clients also sometimes, that because that's the government. We are catering both internal and external clients within our offices because we are compartmentalized. So some offices ask for the service of or data from other offices. Um, so it started with serving the internal and external stakeholders. So if you look at this diagram, it ends with trust and confidence to government. No? So the focus of improving services actually to gain the trust or providing service to the people is actually the bottom line is to gain the trust and confidence of people to the government. So that's the purpose of this diagram. Lastly, I also shared to you the reading assignment, which actually an article written by one of my advisors before, which is also a faculty member of the College of Information and Computing Sciences of the MSU Marawi, Miss Suhaina Khalid. We assessed the local government e-website in the Philippines. We selected some representative sample among websites in the Philippines and assessed, and we use this as a basis of adoption of the maturity level in terms of digitalization of the organization. So we use this maturity model assessment. We use this to determine if a certain municipality or city is has a certain level of maturedness. So, for example, the highest level of maturity level in this diagram is connected information services, while the first level of maturity is emerging information services. So we provide a checklist to determine whether a certain website of a local government unit is considered this certain maturity. And if we have some disagreement, for example, on our own self-assessment, we agree or compare our basis of determining the maturity or stage of maturity of that certain local government units. So this helped us a lot because government mandates all government websites or agencies to have a certain website for related to procurement or transparency. And if we have offered some services online, that means we are classified as more matured local government units. And in our assessments, if you've read a paper, you can already know at what particular level most of the website in the Philippines as of now. Okay, so with that certain knowledge, and I hope you have some details on about those topics in each of these slides where these topics has been discussed. I hope that you have a certain idea on the summary of this one for our short assessment. Our short assessment is not really a big component of our major assessment towards the last of the semester, but this serves as our initial formative assessment for you to know how much you've learned in reality and how we apply this to the actual analysis of a given case. So based on this knowledge, I just summarize, we have a short activity on assessment that I'll give you later. And maybe if you have time, you can answer those within the week. And this will help me guide whether you are able to engage with the material that I was given to you or and anyway need to be assisted later in preparation for our next topic. And I hope that you've learned something so far so that we can move on to our next major module. That's it. Good day.